Okay, we're going to walk you through how to dimension the base of the tic-tac-toe project. So again, the first dimensions we're going to put in are width dimensions. They run from left to right when looking at the front view. So I'm going to start here on the left and I'm going to draw an extension line. The first thing that we need to dimension is the location of this first hole. And so that dimension is 0.75. So I'll write that in. I'm going to go ahead and put my dimension lines on the outside of the extension lines so they fit better. The next thing we need to dimension is to the center of this next hole. So I'll draw an extension line up. If you need to use a straight edge, make sure you do that. Keep it nice and neat. Draw this extension line up. Write in my dimension. It's 1.5 inches. Draw in my dimension line, making sure that the arrows touch the extension line. This one, the next center of the opposite hole. Draw an extension line up. I will write in the dimension 2.25. Put in my dimension line using a straight edge to keep them nice and neat. So that locates all the holes. The next thing we need to do is put in a dimension for the overall width of the object. I'm going to do that on this side down here. So I'll draw my extension lines down. Write in my dimension 3.00. Draw my dimension lines. So we have the width dimensions taken care of. The next thing we need to do are the height dimensions. So I'll start height dimensions, run from bottom to top in the front view here. Put an extension line in there. We need to locate the center of that hole. And so it is 0.5 inches high. So put that in. 0.50. And I will draw my dimension lines on the outside of the extension lines in that case because they don't fit in here very well. The next thing I need is the overall height of the object. I'm going to do that one on the other side. And it is 1.00 inches high. So I drew my extension lines out. Draw in my dimension line. And that takes care of the height dimensions. The next thing we need to do are the depth dimensions. So a couple of depth dimensions we need to do. In the top view here, depth dimensions run from bottom to top. And so the first one we need to do is to locate the center of these holes. So I'll draw an extension line out. Use my center line as the extension line to locate the hole. It is 0.516. I'll draw my dimension line on that, and then instead of dimensioning all of these circles, we can put in an annotation, and I'm going to put in TYP. That annotation means typical, so it means all of those holes are spaced evenly. They're all the same dimension. So I can do the other thing right here to locate the width for the holes in the top. It's the same dimension, 0.516. Put in my extension lines, and then that's a typical dimension too, so I'll write in TYP. The last thing we need to do is the overall depth of the object. So I'm going to do that over here. Put my extension line in. Right in my dimension, it's 3.00. Draw in my dimension line. One thing that I want you to notice is that all the dimensions you can read from the bottom of the page. Alright? And so if we were to write the dimension like this, that would be incorrect for what we're doing. And so we want to be able to read the dimensions from the bottom of the page. A couple of things we have left to do. We want to dimension these holes in the top. So I'm going to draw a leader line out from one of the holes. Like that. It's going to be a typical dimension because we're just going to dimension it once. We're not going to dimension all of them. So I'm going to write TYP. Then I'm going to give the diameter of the hole. The diameter is 0.5. Then I'm going to give the depth of that hole. So this T with an arrow at the bottom is the symbol for depth. That is telling us how far down does the hole go. And it goes down 1/1000th of an inch. So I'm going to say 0.001 for that. The last thing we need to do is dimension these two. So I'm going to draw a leader line for this hole. And in this case, instead of writing TYP, since there's only two of them, I'm going to write 2x, and that means that the hole happens 2 times. Then I'm going to give the diameter of the hole. The diameter is 0.625. And then the depth of the hole, again the T with the arrow at the bottom of it, is 2.5 inches. Takes care of that one. One more annotation we have to do right here. So I'll draw another leader line up. Draw an extension line. This hole is a tapped hole. So the annotation for that is 1/4. It's a 1/4 inch hole. It has 20 threads per inch, so I'll put 20. It's a unified coarse thread, so I'll put UNC. It's a class 2B fit, so I'll put 2B for fit, and then I will put a depth of 1 inch. Alright. And that takes care of all of the dimensioning you would need to do to create that base part for the tic-tac-toe project.